Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Well, we are back to business. It is now Monday after the Thanksgiving recess for Congress, and they have a laundry list of priorities to complete before the end of this year. Will they get it done? And what is on the docket for Congress this week? Well, it is going to be very monumental in regards to several areas, whether it is funding the government and averting a partial government shutdown. We're also going to be looking at some spending bills that the Democrats want to get done and more. So we'll be talking about it all in today's video. But before we do, as always, make sure you guys do a couple things for me. Number one, give this video a tremendous thumbs up. Smash the like button. I would appreciate that. And if you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Click that big red button and that notification bell as well. We got so many new people hopping on board in just the last 24 hours. Thank you so much for everyone who has joined us. And just so you guys understand, we will be doing our next cash giveaway when we do it 20,000 subscribers. That's going to be right around the corner at the pace that we're going right now. So make sure that you are subscribed. You're going to be entered in that giveaway. It's free cash. No gimmicks, no obligations. It is free. No sales pitch. So make sure that you are subscribed. With that being said, let's get started and dive right in. So yes, lawmakers have returned to Washington and they have a pileup of bills to complete with very limited time as the year of 2021 is coming to a close. The most immediate issue that Congress has to get done is avoiding a partial government shutdown, which could happen by the end of this week. But they also have to address the nation's borrowing authority as well as the defense spending policy bill. And Democrats are also focused on President Biden's Build Back Better agenda. And Democrats have made Christmas the deadline to pass that roughly $2 trillion bill, which addresses everything from healthcare to climate change and creates a social safety net for the majority of Americans in this country, especially in the lower and middle income brackets. That's the second piece of President Biden's Build Back Better agenda. The first part was passed just recently, the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill, and President Biden is going around the country and touting its value and its worth. Now, if you're feeling some deja vu, well, think back just a year ago when Congress was about to go on winter recess but had to pass the stimulus bill, and that was a very close call, but they were able to get it done. And so this time around, Congress's Christmas recess starts on December 11th, but many people believe, experts and analysts, that they'll be staying in the Capitol longer this year to complete a lot of this work, especially as Democrats have control. So just like Santa has a list and he's checking it twice, well, Congress also has a list, and here's what they have to do just before the end of this year. Number one, Congress has to address government funding. Federal agencies run out of money at midnight this Friday. No agreement seems within reach on the dozens of spending bills that fund the federal government. Instead, lawmakers are working on kicking the can down the road for some period of time. Republican and Democratic appropriators are crafting a stopgap funding bill, referred to as a continuing resolution, that extends current spending levels. But House and Senate committees haven't agreed to about how long they want a short-term bill to last. Now, according to sources familiar with the discussions, they believe that negotiators are coalescing around a CR or continuing resolution that goes into late January or potentially into February, so the two chambers can have more time to work out an agreement on full-year funding bills. Again, this is very reminiscent of last year. As far as the debt limit, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen notified Congress earlier this month that they have until December 15th to increase the nation's borrowing limit or risk defaulting on the country's bills. The issue caused a partisan standoff earlier this fall, but ultimately Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, Republican from Kentucky, agreed to a deal that avoided any default for weeks. He and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer have held some talks about the issue, but there was no clear path to address it. Republicans are again urging Democrats to attach a debt limit hike to a budget reconciliation package and pass it on their own, since they can approve a bill using rules that avoid a GOP filibuster. But many Democrats oppose this and say it could be tough to finish that bill in time. According to Senator Amy Klobuchar, Democrat from Minnesota, you may recognize her. She ran for president in the Democratic primary for 2020. She said, quote, "If the Republicans want to Scrooge out on us," in reference to Christmas, "and increase people's interest rates and make it hard to make car payments, go ahead and make that the case. We're going to stop them from doing that. Now, it is possible that the deadline for needing to act could slip into early next year, depending on the Treasury's receipts, but leaders say they intend to act in December. Do you think they'll get it done? Let us know down below in the comments section. Do you believe they'll be able to get it done before the year end? And when it comes to the defense authorization bill, Congress has approved the annual policy bill for almost 60 years now. As usual, the House and Senate are working on different versions. This year's bill includes reforms to the system for prosecuting allegations of sexual assault in the military, a pay increase for servicemen and women, and measures to increase military support for Ukraine amid the new threat from Russia. It could take months to negotiate a final bill between the two chambers, and the chairs of both the House and Senate Armed Services panels have pressed leaders to make it a priority. The House approved its final version, and the Senate is expected to vote this week on its bill. And finally, a priority for Congress, but more particularly Democrats, is the Build Back Better spending bill. After the House passed its version last week, Democrats are indicating that they want to see some changes made to this final bill. The House passed its $2 trillion spending bill last week, but that will likely not be the package that ends up being sent to President Biden's desk, especially with that price tag. For example, in the Senate, you have good old Senator Joe Manchin. He blocks many pieces of legislation and has been a big problem for Democrats. He has said that he opposes the 4 weeks of paid family leave in the House bill, so that's expected to be stripped out. Even on the progressive side, you have some differences. For example, Senator Bernie Sanders, he wants to expand Medicare coverage to include vision and dental benefits. That is currently not in the bill. The immigration provisions that provide work permits for those who entered the country since January of 2011 and prevents them from being deported is being reviewed right now by the Senate parliamentarian to see if the changes to the law meet the limits of what can be included in a budget reconciliation package. Of course, Democrats are using the reconciliation process to get around a Republican filibuster. Not one Republican is in favor of this bill. There's also a continued debate over a tax deduction aimed at states with high state and local property taxes. Some Democrats, including Bernie Sanders, have warned that the way that the House structure is right now, the deduction could end up giving many wealthy Americans a significant tax break and runs afoul of their campaign pledge to make the rich pay their fair share. Democrats want to stay on brand, especially with their sinking numbers, especially into the midterms of 2022. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has set this Christmas timetable to finish the bill and send it to the president. But if the Senate wants to change the bill, which is expected, the House would then have to vote on it once again, and that can create some delays. Do you think that they'll have the Build Back Better bill done in time for Christmas? What are your thoughts? Let's make our predictions. Let us know down below in the comments. Democrats also fear that it'll be more difficult to debate and ultimately pass the bill if the negotiations continue into 2022, next year, which is an election year. They want a complete action on the domestic spending bill, which includes everything ranging from spending on climate change to healthcare to childcare programs, so that way they can campaign on those policies, as well as the infrastructure bill that the president signed recently to tout their pledges and that they got it done, promises made, promises kept. This would help the Democrats greatly come the midterms. But if the debate continues over to next year, well, it's going to get tough, as Democrats won't have too much to campaign on other than that infrastructure bill. And a big unknown factor here, as House and Senate members travel back to Washington, is the new coronavirus variant. This has certainly put a monkey wrench in the works. President Biden met with his COVID task force members just this Sunday after Thanksgiving and is urging everyone who is currently unvaccinated to get their vaccine, as well as anyone that's eligible to also get their booster. Just this past summer, the administration was criticized greatly for not moving fast enough to address the Delta variant. Now, there's no indication so far that the new variant will be more transmissible or cause serious symptoms, but lawmakers are mindful of continuing to address the pandemic and any potential economic impacts that it may have. So Congress and Democrats have a lot to get done, and Republicans may be in their way, but Democrats are moving full speed ahead and trying to rush and cram these packages into as little time as possible. I don't know what's going to happen. You never know with Congress. Sometimes they can get it done, sometimes they can't. But it will be very interesting to see how this plays out. So more news and developments will come soon. All updates can be found right here on this channel. We'll definitely want to talk about if Democrats can get the social safety net bill passed and what that price tag will eventually look like. It'll be very interesting to see, but more news is to come. If you did enjoy this video, as always, give it a big thumbs up, smash the like button, I would appreciate that. Also, make sure you are subscribed to this channel and click that notification bell If you want to get some free stocks, all on meal free, use those links down below in the description of this video. Sign up with the brokerage platforms Robinhood and or Webull. You get some free stocks, some valued up to thousands of dollars, and that's a good thing to have while you wait for the next cash giveaway. So a little bit of a hold me over till then. And if you want to connect with me on social media, I am on Instagram at Logan Cohn, LOGANKOHN, right there on your screen. Maybe I'll follow you back, but that link is also down below. Hope you enjoyed this one. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Take care for now.